up, my beloved? Y'all, this is your girl, Tracey Philippa, and I am here with a different type of video today. I want to share with you guys how I opened my home-based bakery. If you didn't know, I am the owner of Danilicious Cakes. I recently closed down the home bakery because there was an opportunity that came that I just could not turn down, and I'm so grateful to God for that. But I wanted to come and just really give y'all like the tea on how that experience was. I ran my bakery for about 2 years, and it has been like such a blessing to me and to everybody that I got a chance to share in their special days, whether it was a wedding, a birthday, anniversary, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Teachers Appreciation, whatever it was that, where you needed something sweet. I'm so grateful that I got a chance to be a part of that. But a little bit backstory. So my grandmother on my father's side was a baker. She was known for her cakes and her bread, pies and her breads. And y'all, those are two things that I've never really gotten into, right? But she baked beautiful pies and everything on the island. And, she died when I was 2 years old. And so I never really got a chance to learn anything from her. However, it was just this unction that I've always had when it came to baking, and I was just good at it. But the thing is, I was able to bake cupcakes and stuff like that, but I was never able to really decorate cakes. I just didn't know how. I never pursued it. I never went to a class. And in 2020, when I was going through one of the most horrific transitions of my life, at the beginning, right before the pandemic, God said to me that you need to start decorating cakes. And so it was at that point when I started binge watching YouTube tutorials. I was just binge watching all day, all night, and just learning different techniques. Now, at the time, I was also, I had a 9 to 5 or whatever shift it was, because I was a law enforcement officer. And so what I was doing was taking some of my paycheck, my salary, and I started to invest in the baking. So I went and I bought a new refrigerator, the cake printer, scrapers and spatulas and molds and just everything, turntable, just everything that I needed to start baking cakes. And I was using my government job to fund that. And I set up my brand new kitchen and everything. I just built a house, and unfortunately I ended up going through a really rough divorce, and I ended up moving out of that house. And so I had to really just start over from scratch. And I moved back home to my mom's house, and she was actually a hairstylist at one point, and she had an empty space we had converted our garage into her shop, and she was no longer really doing it anymore, and she told me that I could have that space. And so we transformed that space into a bakery, and that was where everything took off. My very first time that I baked at the house, I had 7 cakes to bake, and trust me when I tell you, my kitchen was not set up yet. I cried the entire time, because besides the fact that I was going through a divorce and all those different things, I was this is just overwhelming. But I did it, and I stuck it out, and it became such a joy to me. I love baking cakes. I just know that I'm just in a transition right now. But one thing I would tell you is YouTube can teach you anything. Do I believe in traditional, school and college? Okay, that's fine. I have a degree in law and criminal justice. Never used it, but it is what it is. Um, but I've learned that resources are out there, and YouTube was one of those things. It was just it was so many videos that I could have watched and so many techniques that I learned, and it made that transition from being a law enforcement officer to a full-time home baker extremely easy. And so I did that, and by the end of, let's say if I started baking in February of 2020, by December of 2020 I had baked about 600 cakes, and up to today I've probably baked almost 3,000 cakes. Like, yeah, it's like that. It's like that. And then I started to learn, about like ads. So, I started doing like Facebook ads, and opening up the business suite, and really taking all the pictures and posting every day. There was this, there's Facebook Marketplace, and that was a way that I was able to, really advertise my business and advertise my work. And for the most part, like, I was like really doing absolutely well. I think for maybe like almost 2 years, like, I literally was making, like, pulling in at least like $5,000-6,000 in sales just from just baking in the house. Y'all, there is a ambulance that is extremely loud, and I pray that that person is safe. Amen. So yeah, I started doing it, started getting a whole lot more clientele, and I was, like I said, I started to be intentional about advertising. So I would have advertisements playing every single day, and for a while it was good until some other crap started happening with the ads, and so I kind of stopped it. But what I would tell you is that if you have, a talent, something that you're just good at, like, pursue it. And that's what I did. I pursued it, and it was like the best decision that I could have ever made for myself. One of the I think one of the hardest things about running a home bakery, especially if you're just doing it by yourself, y'all, cleanup was a headache. One thing I learned about baking is that you will use the same amount of equipment to bake one cake that you would use to bake 10 cakes. And so on a day when you really only have maybe 1 or 2 orders, it gets tiresome trying to clean up the bakery every single time you have an order. And because of that, especially if you're working for yourself, you may not be able to afford for someone to come in every single day and clean, especially if you did not have a good day in sales. Let's say if you only had 2 cakes, and those 2 cakes are $50 each or $60 each, you're looking at between $100 and $120, and then you definitely have a overhead of at least 30% when it comes to your ingredients and stuff like that. And so you can't come and have someone now clean the bakery for $50, or some people charge more, and so you have to learn how to do so many things yourself. One of the difficulties that I had was doing deliveries as well, because when you are a one-person business, you do every single thing. And the problem with that was, the more time I spent on the road, the less time I spent in the bakery. and that was hard. So I had to schedule, really had to schedule like my baking times and my delivery times, and I was making it work. Trust me, I was making it work, but it was stressful. It was stressful. So even though I was doing what I loved, everything else about what I loved, I didn't like. So, you know, when it came to doing the deliveries, when it came to doing all the cleaning, when it came to doing all the advertising, all these different things, those can take a toll on a one-person business. And you know, everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. You know, everybody wants to be a business owner and all that stuff. And you do start from somewhere, and I did. And I will tell you that is no walk in the park. Is it rewarding? Absolutely. Do you take so much pride in the product that you offer? Absolutely. But it is not easy. It is not easy. But have I grown and developed beautiful relationships because of it? Absolutely. Absolutely. I was at the point where I had a few solid corporate clients, and they were the ones that kind of kept my business afloat even when things were not that good. But I knew that I was, you know, coming to a transition in 2023, and so I was just like waiting on the time for, you know, things to kind of shift with me, and that's exactly what it had. It happened suddenly. When it comes to being a baker, one of the things that outside of, like I said, those things like delivery and all that stuff, it was all so difficult at the beginning trying to find recipes and trying to create recipes that actually taste good, not trying to steal anybody's recipe, trying to tweak certain recipes to make them my own. That took time, y'all. Sometimes, oh Lord, I can tell you all, Bahamians know this phrase, and it's called, well, Johnny Cake. There were some times when my cakes came out like that. There were, at the beginning, there was a lot of trial and error. A lot of trial and error. But as, you know, as time went on, I just became better at it. I knew what it was now to use a scale and not just measuring spoons and cups and stuff like that. I used a scale. You know, I was able to upgrade like my mixers and all that different stuff, and so I was able to really like put out a lot of product in a very short space of time. One of the things that was a benefit to me is that we had 2 ovens, so even though I was just a one person, there would be times when I could have 8 cakes in the oven at a time for 8 different clients. And so that was actually helping me, especially when I had busy days, especially like weekends when you have like 10 or 12 orders. I was able to like do all of that. Sometimes I wake up like 4 o'clock in the morning, and by the time I'm finished like really doing everything, so it'll be like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I would start deliveries, and that would take another 2 hours. But it was worth it, you know. It was worth it to make like $600-700 in one day. And just working by myself, it was good. And then it would allow me, you know, time to relax on like off days. Sometimes it would be like a Monday or a Thursday. Sometimes like those days would be, you know, a little bit more flexible for me. But then there would be times when they would just be completely booked out. And so, you know, I had like really good run, honestly. Let me see if I can find my so what I used to do, this is so unprofessional, but what I used to do is like I used to log my orders like this in Google Calendar. So let me see if you can really see it. And like, y'all, like I used to be booked solid, like solid, booked solid. That was February 2022. This is January 2022, March 2022, April 2022, May 2022, June 2022. And it was like going down to September. And y'all, when 2023 hit, it was like something else happened. Like, I don't know. It was like something else happened. But like I said, I knew I was transitioning. One of the difficulty is that we definitely I don't know if it was a result of the pandemic or what, but the price of ingredients skyrocket, like skyrocket, to the point where, you know, eggs is like $8 a carton. And for a bakery, that was a huge chunk out of the profit. Also oil. Everything was up. Everything was going up. And, you know, I did not want to go up on my prices. You know, like how much could you really charge for a little cake? You know, and so I tried my best to stay at a certain level, and that was what I did until it was time for God to transition me. And so I don't regret not going up on my prices. I knew that I was delivering a good product. And one of the things that I did, what I implemented was last minute cakes. And that was where like I would have like vanilla cakes just already there waiting, and they could pick cakes up in 30 minutes. I'm talking about like design cakes with prints and everything on it. They would be able to pick those cakes up in 30 minutes. So that was a service that I offered that was really, really good. And you know, it was paying. It was paying. And and so it just took me being intentional about the business. And honestly, like when you know that your back is against the wall and you don't really have another choice, you know, you're going to do what you need to do to feed your family. You're going to do what you need to do to take care of yourself. And that was exactly what I did. And so I would encourage anybody, like if you really have a passion for something, go after it. Go after it, you know, despite what anybody may think or what they say. Go after it, you know, pray about it, ask God if this is the place that he wants you to, you know, expand, explore. But I will tell you, once he's with you, you are going to succeed. And these last 2 years of my life have been absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. You know, I've traveled so much, I've seen so much, I've experienced so much, I've gotten so many great connections with just baking cakes, and it's just been like a blast. Like a blast. And so y'all, that's how I became a home baker. And I hope that this video will help someone, encourage somebody, you know, to start your business if you want. And listen, it doesn't hurt to try, because you don't know where it's gonna go. Like my business has put me in rooms with ministers of parliament, you know, all the good stuff. So it has really, really transformed my life. And so y'all, like, subscribe, and share this video. Subscribe to my channel, Tracey Philippa. If you want more content like this, y'all like, comment, let me know. I definitely have a lot of business information, because this is not my first business, and so I am pretty good at, you know, starting things and actually getting them up off the ground, and I'm excited for my next step. So I love you. God bless you. Bye.